And we're back with the Classic Automall Show, Classic Automall Studio, Morgantown, PA, with our good friend Keith Martin, joining us from the left coast. Good morning, Keith.
Morning. It's great to be here.
It's great to have you here.
I'd like to register one complaint.
Great.
Right off the bat. Just put me through.
Okay.
I despise daylight savings time.
Me too. I am done. I hope we never have to live through it again.
Like, what's the point?
I don't get it. I'm not a farmer. I'm not out in the crops. I'm not, sorry, it just doesn't work anymore. I hate getting home, leaving the office at 5 o'clock. I have no windows in my office because I don't know why. But anyway, I have no windows in my office. So I walk outside and it's pitch black and it just makes me mad.
I know. And not only that, it always gets cold.
It's cold and mad. So great. So your latest blog is Revenge of the Classic Cars. And you sold the Jaguar.
I got a really good price for it on Bring a Trailer. And I figured out that the cost of owning that car was $7,000 over 5 years.
Wow.
And 10,000 miles.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was like free.
Yeah, it really, in our world, that is absolutely free.
But what happened is the classic car god was watching this and saying, "Oh man, Keith is so way out of kilter. We owe him."
Yeah, because that whole Mercedes the 250 CE or whatever you bought?
Yeah, where I had the world's best car that nobody cares about.
That nobody wanted, right? And I tell you, so do you know the buyer? Is it somebody that you knew, or is it somebody?
It's not. I don't know who it is yet.
Okay, gotcha.
The Matt at 911R knows, but I told him, I was told by my guy here that they did not make a radio block-off plate for a Series 3 Jaguar.
Really?
But you know what happens when you put something like that on Bring a Trailer?
Yeah, we know exactly what happens.
So I got sent a link to it, and I told the guy as the auction was closing, I said, you know what, just one more bid and I'll buy you the blanking plate. It's $18.
Right.
It's important to have these things hinge on big deals.
It's funny about that you mentioned that. There was a gentleman who started an auction in the Midwest named Mark Trimble. And Mark started the Branson auction back in many years ago. And Mark would sell cars after he had sold the auction to Jim Cox. And he would sell cars at the auction. And every auction that Mark would be at, he would come up on the stage when the bidding got to the flat spot. And he'd come up and say, now, folks, he said, I just noticed a few minutes ago that the brakes were a little weak in the rear end. I've got two $100 bills here for, whoever the buyer is, so we'll take care of that brake issue. Sold every time, went for more money. People started bidding again. It was, it's so simple. But sometimes the simple things like that make such a huge impact.
Well, what you're trying to do is you're trying to bond between the buyer and the seller.
Right.
And you're trying to create trust over 3,000 miles.
Right. Exactly.
And so what you're looking for is really quick answers that you ask.
Yeah.
I was looking at this car the other day, and the guy said, well, it's a black car. The Car Fax said it was red twice, but I'm sure it's always been black.
Yeah. And your comfort level just went.
And I said, well, if the car's always been red, always been black, why does it say red on the Car Fax? He said, I don't know.
That's a good answer. That sounds like what my 5-year-old would say. I don't know how that got in there. Hey, I noticed you talked about in your blog about big Healeys, and I kind of got my eye on a big Healey, and now may be the time to buy one, right?
Well, next year is the 75th Anniversary Healey Tour.
Oh, that'd be really
600
good.
Healeys at Lake Tahoe.
Wow.
And my guess is, Stewart, I don't want to be a fatalist here, but my guess is the 100th anniversary won't have as many.
Right. 125th anniversary might be a few less.
Yeah. I'm trying to work on my leg and so I have a clutch leg. I had a BJ7 that I drove to the 50th anniversary, and I loved it. When you're in a string of 10 or 15 of those cars and they drop into overdrive and you're on a back road. I mean, the sound is just unbelievable.
And you got to have an overdrive. And they all, I think, I don't think they all came with overdrive, but most of them came with overdrive.
Yeah, it was, you're saying it right. Almost a non-overdrive car just walk away.
Right. It's just because you want that extra. It's like a 4-speed Camaro 69 Z28. You need that. Where's that fifth gear? Damn it! I need.
Well, and with the Healeys, you can get overdrive on second, third, and fourth.
Oh, right. So you've almost like got to do the math and the lime and the coconut and 12.
You have a meaningless extra set of gears.
Right. Because second to second and a half, and to third and a half, to four.
Right. So I'm looking, actually actively looking, maybe even buying a pair and driving them down with one of my staff and then coming back.
Oh.
We did a few years ago. I bought 3 MGBs and we drove to Lake Tahoe.
So you were cornering the market, or what was it?
I think the market is
cornered.
The movie Zulu.
Yeah.
Well, instead of Zulus across the hill, there's guys with Healeys who want me to buy them.
Wow. It's yeah. So half price, and they're great cars to drive, and they sound good, and they're sexy looking. They're the best looking.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if it's the 106 or the BJ8 or all. I mean, the BN1 and 2, the early cars are different, but people say, "Oh, the 106 doesn't have the right intake manifold and it's not as fast." Well, it's as fast as you need to go.
Right, exactly, and that says a lot about a car. Just because you have all this extra horsepower, I've had plenty of cars that had way more horsepower than I ever used and ever needed, and never really wanted. I thought I wanted it until I realized that I'm never going to go that fast.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
So I think this is I've been watching these Healeys. I'm trying to come in as a cheapskate for a 100, the unloved 106.
Right.
They were in the 30s and 40s. They're now in the high 20s, low 30s for really, really good ones. Yeah,
and a driver quality might even be less. I don't think you get in the teens, but you might get close.
The question becomes then for me is it's the distance of the shipping.
Right, exactly. That all of a sudden now factors into it. The cheaper the car, the more that number means something to you. So
that's right.
To spend $3,000 on shipping a car that you spent $15,000 for, boy, that's a tough pill to swallow. And of course, you've been getting some invoices in your mailbox lately, right? A few car related.
I'm part of the client of the month club again.
I love that the cost of the Volvo V70 that you brought for your son Bradley, the first check you wrote was the cheapest check you wrote.
I know. I forgot it was the down payment.
Yeah, that's right. People say, we talk about this. There's a 1995 Jag I can buy for $3,000. Okay. Do you know how much the exhaust system is?
I'm going to jump in here because I'm getting a lot of crap because I got a flat tire in my Porsche C4S, and I had to buy new tires for $1,500. And the number of people telling me what a stupid dumbass I am for buying those tires and paying that much. And I want to say to them, you weren't by the side of the road with a nail
exactly
through the wall of your tire at a car shop that says we can throw new tires on this car. Now they didn't say, "Oh, try Discount Tire and see if they'll do a better deal for you."
Yeah, and they'll FedEx it to you by the side of the road, and then you can change them yourself.
I mean, it was really when you're there with a flat tire and a nail in your tire, and you're at a tire shop. It's not the time to go bargain hunting.
Yeah, it really isn't. I mean, anytime I am in a desperation situation or a situation where I want to get out of as quickly as possible, money at that point in time has no meaning to me. I want to pay whatever I got to pay to get out of this situation is perfectly okay with me.
That's right. If I were sitting at home with my phone and I were comparison shopping and reading the blog and this is the best tire but I wasn't.
Right. I love that you spent $7,000 on the Jag over a 10-year period, and in the last 30 days you spent $7,500 on the Alfa, Volvo, and the Porsche.
I know, it's just like classic car math.
It works perfectly, right?
And nobody's surprised. Really, only 7?
Yeah, that was it. Gosh, have you got a discount or something? A multi-user discount or something along the line?
What I have is there's the SCM Club. We have what are those, like a toll booth sticker on all our cars?
Right.
We drive by a shop, they just bill me $500.
It's just like swiping your card as you're going.
Exactly. It's the monthly maintenance dues.
Yeah, and of course, in talking about maintenance and the new Porsche 996 that you have is the old bear of the IMS bearing. Have you heard any?
I'm just going to pay to have it done.
Just going to do it whenever it's done. Are you going to do it before it fails you?
No, I think I'll wait till after. What I love about everything you read about IMS, the number one thing you read that says it's going to go without warning, fix it.
Yeah, they're not going to be like, hey, by the way.
No, I like the guys who say, no, I cut my oil filter open every 3 days and look to see if there and if there are any metal filings in there, that means that you're already toast.
You're already toasted. So what's the bill going to be for a new IMS bearing? Do we know?
3 to 4.
3 to 4. So it's just money. You can't take it with you.
Well, I factored that into the offer I made for the car when I bought it.
There you go. I think a lot of people do that.
I paid $32 for it, I think, and if it had the IMS bearing done, it was probably a $35,000 car.
Right, 35, 36.
And it was in Seattle, so that's no tow bill. I sent my son up on the train to pick it up. It was a beautiful car with, best of all, it has that bad boy idle exhaust switch.
Yeah.
And you sound like the kind of ass you didn't want to live next to.
I realized the other day that my GMC pickup truck has a sport setting that makes the exhaust louder, and it won't fit in my garage, the car. So when I started, I think my neighbors are all like, "Son of a bitch!" There he goes, starting that damn thing again.
You have to give it to credit to Porsche for even offering something like that.
I love them for that. It's like a cutout switch on a Duesenberg, right?
Well, I guess so.
It's exactly like that, right? All right, so I guess we've solved all the weekly world problems, and we'll be looking forward to your blog next week, and we'll continue this conversation on the Classic Auto Mall show. We'll see you then. Thanks, Keith.
All right, great to be here.
Take care. We'll see you next week on the Classic Auto Mall show.
Here's a special offer from Sports Car Market Magazine. Get a 6-month subscription for just $19.95 by going to sportscarmarket.com/test drive and the number 6. That's sportscarmarket.com/test drive 6. If you're a buyer, a seller, or just general classic car enthusiast, publisher Keith Martin says,
we've been around almost 40 years. It's the Wall Street Journal of the collector car world.
Activate your 6-month trial of Sports Car Market Magazine by going to sportscarmarket.com/test drive 6. Offers for a limited time. Be in the know with Sports Car Market.
The Classic Auto Mall Show with their host, Stewart Howden. Available on ClassicAutomall.com, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts.